You think the Egyptians invented mummification? Everyone thinks that. Every museum, every documentary, every textbook, they're all wrong. The oldest mummies in the world are not pharaohs. They're not kings or priests or gods. They're babies. And they were made 7,000 years ago by parents who simply couldn't let go. Let me tell you about the Chinchorro. They lived on the coast of Chile, in the Atacama Desert, one of the harshest places on Earth. Almost zero rainfall, no trees, constant wind, but fish, lots of fish. So they stayed, and for thousands of years they were fine, until the water started killing their children. The Camarones Valley, where the Chinchorro settled, had arsenic in the water. Not a little arsenic. 100 times the safe limit. 100. They didn't know. They couldn't taste it. They couldn't see it. They just kept drinking. And their babies kept dying. Miscarriages, stillbirths. Infants who lived for days and then didn't. Over and over and over. Imagine that. You live in a desert. You have nothing. You work all day just to eat. And every child you bring into the world dies before you can teach them to walk. What do? You can't Google it. You can't move to a better neighborhood. You can't even understand why it's happening. All you can do is watch and grieve, and then one mother did something that no human had ever done before. She didn't bury her baby. She kept it. We don't know her name. We don't know what she looked like. But we know what she did. She took her child's body and she worked on it. For days, maybe weeks. She removed the organs, carefully. She cleaned the bones. She filled the tiny body with clay and fiber and sticks to hold its shape. She sewed the skin back together. She made a mask for the face. Clay, painted black. She gave her child back a face. And then, archaeologists believe, she kept the mummy near her. Not buried, near her. Here's what I need you to understand. She wasn't doing a ritual. There was no religion telling her to do this. No priest, no tradition, no rulebook. She invented this herself, from scratch, from grief. A new study published in the Cambridge Archaeological Journal in 2025 by Dr. Bernardo Ariaza from the University of Tarapacá calls this art therapy, the oldest art therapy in human history. Visual art provides a nonverbal outlet for processing intense emotions after the loss of a loved one, he writes. She couldn't say what she felt. Maybe she didn't have the words. Maybe no words existed for this. So she used her hands instead, and something happened. Other mothers saw her, and they did the same. And then fathers and grandparents, and slowly, over generations, an entire culture was built around this one act, the act of not letting go. The Chinchorro mummified their dead for 3,500 years. That's longer than the entire history of ancient Egypt. 3,500 years of parents saying, "Not yet, I'm not ready." Now here's where it gets complicated. The black paint they used on the mummies, manganese, also toxic. The people who spent the most time making mummies, the mothers, the artists, the grievers, were slowly poisoning themselves. The thing they created to survive their grief was quietly killing them. They had no idea. They just kept making the mummies, because it was the only thing that helped. Modern psychologists have a name for what they were doing: continuing bonds. The idea that grief doesn't require letting go, that keeping the dead present, physically, symbolically, can be healthy, that the goal of mourning isn't to forget. It's to find a new way to carry the person with you. The Chinchorro figured this out 7,000 years ago, without a single therapist, without a single book, just a mother in a desert who looked at her dead child and thought, "I'm not done with you yet." Here's the twist. We found these mummies in the 20th century, and for decades we studied them as art, as cultural artifacts, as evidence of early human complexity. We wrote papers about the technique, about the manganese, about the clay. We put them in museums. We called them remarkable. And only in 2025 did someone finally ask the real question. Not, how did they do this, but why? And the answer that took us 100 years to ask, is the most human answer there is. Because they loved their children, and they didn't know what else to do. That's it. No deeper mystery, no lost civilization, no secret ritual, just love and loss, and a pair of hands that refused to stop. The oldest mummies in the world weren't made for gods. They weren't made for kings. They were made by parents in a desert, doing the only thing they could think of, holding on,